I was reviewing quarterly sales reports in my hotel room in Seattle when the text message arrived at 11:47 p.m. "We need to talk when you get home. I have wonderful news. I'm pregnant. We're finally going to have the family we always dreamed of. Can't wait to celebrate with you. Red heart." I set down my laptop, walked to the minibar, and poured myself a scotch. Then I called my attorney. "Robert, it's Michael. I need you to accelerate the documentation we discussed. She just gave me the evidence we've been waiting for." "What kind of evidence?" "The kind that proves conclusively she's been committing adultery. I'll send you the details in the morning." What my wife Catherine didn't know was that I'd had a vasectomy 18 months ago during a routine physical exam when she thought I was getting a minor hernia repair. What she also didn't know was that I'd been documenting her increasingly suspicious behavior for the past 6 months. Most importantly, what she absolutely didn't know was that her pregnancy announcement had just handed me ironclad evidence of adultery in a no-fault divorce state that still considers infidelity when dividing assets. Let me explain how a woman who thought she was sharing joyful news just confessed to a felony and signed away her rights to half our marital property. My name is Michael Harrison, and I'm the regional sales director for a medical device company. I travel extensively, which had been causing problems in our marriage for the past year. Catherine complained constantly about feeling lonely, about wanting to start a family, about me being absent during important moments. The vasectomy had been my response to those complaints. If she was going to blame our childlessness on my travel schedule, I wanted definitive proof of what was really preventing us from having children. Her affair with Derek, our neighbor, had started 4 months ago while I was in Denver for a 3-week product launch. I'd hired a private investigator after noticing her car was never in our driveway when I called during my usual evening check-ins, despite her claims to be home relaxing. The evidence was comprehensive. Photos of them entering his apartment, credit card receipts showing she was buying groceries and cooking dinner at his place, and most tellingly, her phone's location data showing she was spending 3 to 4 nights per week at his address. But I'd needed something definitive for the divorce proceedings. Her pregnancy announcement was perfect. I forwarded her text to my attorney along with the medical documentation of my vasectomy, then composed my response. "That's incredible news. I can't wait to celebrate. I'll be home Friday afternoon. We should call your parents right away. They'll be so excited to hear they're going to be grandparents." The response was calculated to increase her excitement while creating more evidence of her deception. Every enthusiastic response she sent would be additional proof that she was knowingly lying about the paternity of her child. Her next 3 texts were exactly what I'd hoped for. "I already told my mom. She cried happy tears. Derek said he's never seen me this happy. Wait, I mean Dr. Derek from my checkups said the pregnancy looks perfect. I love you so much. You're going to be the most amazing father." The slip about Derek was beautiful. My attorney would love that. I spent the rest of my business trip meticulously documenting everything: timestamps of her messages, screenshots with metadata, and a detailed timeline cross-referencing her pregnancy announcement with my vasectomy records and the private investigator's evidence of her affair. By the time I boarded my flight home Friday morning, I had assembled a case that would not only prove adultery but demonstrate a pattern of fraud and deception that would influence any judge's asset division decision. Catherine was waiting for me at the airport with champagne and a gift bag containing baby shoes. "Surprise," she said, throwing her arms around me. "I wanted to celebrate the moment you got home." "This is incredible," I said, kissing her forehead. "We should make this official. I'll call my lawyer Monday to update our wills and insurance policies." "That's so thoughtful," she said, tears in her eyes. "I love how responsible you are about these things." She had no idea I'd be calling my lawyer for very different reasons. We spent the weekend playing the part of excited, expectant parents. Catherine was glowing, talking about nursery plans and baby names, while I documented every conversation and took photos of her pregnancy test results. Monday morning, while Catherine was at her first prenatal appointment, I met with my attorney to file for divorce. The petition was comprehensive: adultery supported by the biological impossibility of my paternity, fraud evidenced by her attempts to pass off another man's child as mine, and deception regarding the use of marital assets to facilitate her affair. Catherine returned home to find the papers served by a process server and me sitting at our kitchen table with a folder containing everything. "What is this?" she asked, her face going pale as she read the divorce petition. "It's the end of your deception," I replied calmly. "I had a vasectomy 18 months ago, Catherine. That baby isn't mine." The silence was absolute. "You're lying," she whispered, but her voice had no conviction. I opened the folder and slid the medical records across the table. Procedure date, surgeon's notes, follow-up appointments. All documented and verified. But how? How did I know you were cheating? Private investigator. 4 months of surveillance. Derek's a good neighbor. He waves to me every morning when I'm leaving for the airport. She sank into a chair, the reality of her situation finally registering. This means... She started. This means you committed adultery, attempted to commit paternity fraud, and used our joint assets to facilitate your affair. In this state, that affects asset division significantly. What does that mean for me? I pulled out the second set of documents. It means you'll be keeping your car, your personal belongings, and about $12,000 from your individual checking account. I'll be keeping the house, the retirement accounts, the investment portfolio, and everything else. Where am I supposed to live? I'd suggest Derek's apartment, since he's the father of your child. He doesn't know yet. He'll know soon enough. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to learn he's going to be financially responsible for child support. Catherine signed the papers that afternoon. She didn't have much choice. The evidence was overwhelming, and her attorney advised her that fighting would only increase her legal costs without changing the outcome. She moved out the following week, taking exactly what the settlement allowed: her clothes, her car, and the $12,000. Derek, interestingly, became significantly less neighborly once paternity was established and child support payments began. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge isn't what you do to someone who betrays you. Sometimes it's simply letting them destroy themselves with their own lies while you document every moment of their deception. Catherine got exactly what she wanted: a pregnancy and a new relationship. She just didn't get to keep anything else.